They said it was a hoax. Just another piece of cursed internet folklore, the kind that spreads through the dark corners of Reddit and forums no one admits to visiting anymore. The story was always the same. If you watched the entire video, you'd start hearing voices. By the third night, you'd see them. I never believed it, of course. Who would? But that was before I found the original file. It all started while I was digging into a cold case for a true crime podcast. The unsolved mass disappearance in a tiny town in northern Montana called River's End. Population 247. Or, well, it used to be. One night back in 2013, every single resident just vanished. No signs of a struggle, no footprints leading out of town, no bodies found. All that was left were a few abandoned cars, their engines still humming, and a single file recovered from a police hard drive. The file was labeled recording_23_final, MP4. When I opened it, the first thing that hit me was the sound of wind. But this wasn't normal wind. It had this bizarre, metallic, distorted undertone, like static crackling from a dying radio. Then, a voice. A man, panicked, breathing hard. He gasped out, "If anyone finds this, don't." The audio cut out, then returned. Don't watch it all the way through. The video glitched, then snapped back into focus. The man was inside what looked like a police station. Papers were scattered everywhere, and a dark smear that looked disturbingly like blood stained the wall behind him. He kept glancing nervously at the door, as if he was expecting someone or something to burst through at any second. And then there was this sound, soft, rhythmic clicking, like metal tapping against glass. He slowly turned the camera toward the window. At first, there was nothing but darkness. Then the light in the room flickered, and for a single, horrifying frame, something was there. A shape, impossibly tall, bent at angles that defied anatomy. Its face, or what should have been a face, was blurred. Not because it was moving, but as if the camera lens itself refused to properly capture its image. I remember slamming the spacebar, pausing the video, my heart hammering against my ribs. Something about that single frame felt fundamentally wrong. It was like just seeing it, for that briefest of moments, had changed something deep inside me. When I finally worked up the nerve to unpause, the man was closer to the camera, his voice a desperate whisper. "It's not from here, it's using us." His eyes were wide, but they were empty, glassy. He stared directly into the camera lens, and for a second, I swear, he was looking right at me. The file ended abruptly after exactly 7 minutes. It's just a black screen. Silence, but I could still hear it, faintly, coming through my speakers, that same static wind. I figured it was just some residual audio bug until I shut down my computer, and the sound kept playing. That night, I woke up with a jolt. 3:12 a.m., the static was still there, a faint but constant hum coming from somewhere in my apartment. I followed the sound to my living room. My laptop was on. The same video file was open on the screen. The timestamp read 6:47, the exact second it had cut off earlier. Except this time, it kept going. The man was gone. The camera was now still, pointing out the station window into the darkness. Then, a flicker of movement crossed the frame. I leaned closer to my screen, squinting. The image sharpened for just half a second, long enough for me to see the reflection in the glass. It was the man from the video again, but behind him, something was standing there. Watching him? Its reflection was wronged to many limbs, its angles bending inward on themselves. Its mouth opened wide, but no sound came out. Then the screen cut to black. A new message appeared in stark white text. Playback incomplete. Continuing from real-time feed. I had no idea what that meant until the tiny green light next to my webcam blinked on. I froze. I wasn't recording anything. Then I saw it. In the dark reflection of my own screen, my room was visible. And behind me, something moved. I spun around in my chair, nothing but the smell. A rotting, damp smell like old leaves and copper suddenly filled the entire room. And then I heard it. That same clicking sound from the video. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from my hallway. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I had almost convinced myself it was all just an elaborate glitch, maybe some kind of sophisticated virus. I dragged the file to the recycle bin and emptied it. But when I rebooted my laptop, it was still there on my desktop, the same file. Except now, it was renamed recording_24_final, MP4, and this time the thumbnail wasn't the police station. It was my apartment, a still image taken from my webcam. That's when I finally went to the police. They looked at me like I was insane. They suggested it was probably a phishing scam and offered to analyze my computer. I handed it over. I never saw it again. That night, I tried to sleep, but every few minutes, I'd hear it. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't coming from the hallway anymore. It was coming from inside my walls. 3 nights later, the detective who took my computer went missing. His partner filed a report, noting that the last thing the detective did before he disappeared was open that same video file. Now, the rumors are starting to spread again. Short, distorted clips are popping up on random accounts, online blurred versions of the footage. Snippets of the audio, that same static wind. Some people claim the original video was secret government footage of a containment breach. Others whisper that it's an alien transmission. But I know the truth. I've seen what happens when you watch it all the way through. Because last night, I did. I don't know why. Morbid curiosity, obsession maybe. I just needed to prove to myself it wasn't real. The moment I hit play, my power went out. The screen went black, and the audio came through my speakers one last time. That distorted, metallic wind, then a whisper. Now you're part of the recording. It's 3:33 a.m. Now I can hear it outside, the tapping. Slow, patient. I tried calling for help, but every number I dialed just plays that static. And when I look out my window, the streets are empty. No cars, no people, no sound. Just the faint, low hum of electricity, like the entire world is holding its breath. I think this is how it starts. The silence. That's why no one survived in that town. It wasn't because of what they saw, but because they couldn't stop watching. If you ever find the file, if you ever hear that static, don't play it, because once you do, it plays you back. And you'll see what I'm seeing now, the reflection in the glass, the movement just behind you. Don't turn around. Don't listen. And whatever you do, don't let it know you've seen it. Because once you recognize it once, you name it too, become part of the recording. And that's how it spreads.